Alright, so this is the next part in our book. We skipped ahead a bit because of time. So they are now back going on that trail looking for that weapon stash. So we're going to start right here. The trees formed a canopy over the path and blocked out the sunlight. But the dim light was just enough to see the groves in the path were still there, their edges blurred even more now by footprints. Kikyo's broad back vanished around a turn. Todd hurried to catch up, but then stopped. No Kikyo in sight. Wait, it looked as if the main path kept going to the left. But wasn't there a small opening in the undergrowth to the right? He could hardly notice a difference in the bushes and the ferns, but hadn't some of them been bent back? Was there a fork in the path? Todd bent down and examined the undergrowth. It looked as if someone had been bent and broken small branches to clear another path. The ground under the bushes looked sort of beaten down, as if a few people had been walking on it. This new path was narrow and pretty well hidden, but obviously there was room for someone to walk. So, if he knew where he was going, did Kikyo take this path? And why? What now? Which way should he go? His head pounded. He wiped his forehead with his shirt sleeve. Now he had a good look. The grooves in the path seemed to disappear on the bushes of the right-hand path, didn't they? Or did they? He studied the left fork. Hadn't something been dragged through the dirt here too? Which way had Kikyo gone? Paralyzed by indecision, he stood still for a moment. Hey, Koala boy! Kikyo's voice made him jump almost out of his skin. Todd whipped around. There stood Kikyo, red-faced with fury. He must have sneaked up behind them through the jungle. Panic gripped Todd. His mouth felt dry. Should he try to run for it? Should he fight? Should he tell a bold-faced lie and say he kicked his soccer ball all the way back here? Kikyo's eyes glittered with rage. I tell you, step out. This Koopa wound. Only for Hawaiians, not, he paused and spat aside, for Haloa. You like beef? We beef. Bite. Beef. Todd remembered Chris saying. Maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea after all. Besides, Todd thought, his anger beginning to rise, Kikyo didn't have the right to tell him to get out, or bag on him about his soccer as he had during practice. Sure, Kikyo was huge, but maybe he wasn't very quick. Maybe. Go wild the ball, hollow boy, Kikyo sneered. Your coach must stay happy. He laughed rudely. That did it. Before he knew what he was doing, Todd doubled up his fist and threw a punch at Kikyo's jaw. To his horror, Kikyo ducked out of the way quickly as Todd swung at him. Ka-pow! 1,000-pound right cross hammered his jaw, and everything went black. Todd! An insistent whisper buzzed in his ear like a pesky gnat. His jaw ached. Todd opened his eyes. He focused on feet in rubber slippers. Someone was shaking him. Where was he? What was going on? Todd, it's me, Chris. We've got to get out of here, Chris whispered in his ear. Oh, Todd groaned softly. Chris? What was Chris doing here? What happened? Todd asked. Then he remembered. He was in the ravine. Kikyo. He was still alive, wasn't he? Todd reached out a hand and gingerly felt his jaw. He really nailed you, Chris said. He began tugging at Todd. Come on, you gotta get up before Kikyo decides to bring some of his pals back here for a little Kill Haloa party. Todd lurched to his feet. His jaw sent flashes of pain shooting up his head. Ah, he moaned. That guy must bench press 250. Easy. The jungle revolved around him for a moment. He reached out a hand to steady himself on Chris's shoulder. Together, they began jogging back as quickly as they could on the path. Todd kept watching for signs of Kikyo and his friends, but Kikyo must have gone back into the undergrowth to do whatever it was he was going to do when he caught Todd following. Todd winced as jolts of pain shot through him with the pounding of his feet on the path. He grabbed his soccer bag and headed out of the park. So, I thought I would not come back here to nap, Todd said finally, as they rounded the last corner before the house. I had to, Chris said. I knew you'd get into trouble. And you did, he said almost defiantly. Yeah, a big help you were, Todd said grumpily. He stopped on the driveway and folded his arms. Chris's forehead creased with worry. I could have called an ambulance or something if it had been worse. What if? Oh, stop being such an old lady, Todd interrupted impatiently. You might have been the reason Kikyo even stopped looking around in the first place. You sound like a bulldozer coming through the jungle the other day. Chris's face fell flat. Then he frowned. Look, I was just trying to look out for you, he protested. You better not get back in there again, ever. I hope you're not planning to do that. You're not planning to. Not after this. Could get a lot worse.